Let's go, dude.
All rise, order in Z Court. Judge Dude and a Trump fan, I guess, because he's very orange. That's why I say that.
Oh, I thought maybe he is because he had beautiful hair. This is a interesting case, Creed. These two men, former lovers.
Okay.
But they had the same last name, which is weird. They're only dating, though. At first, I thought they were married, but no.
Okay.
The one guy says the other one's stalking him, and the other guy's coming back. He's going to come back with some heat. I mean, some fire. So you got to be ready for that. TPOs always are interesting.
Always fun. Let's he's giving some instructions and we'll
to remain silent, to call other witnesses besides themselves, or to not. And then we will hear those witnesses. There'll be questions asked if there are any questions, and then the case will be decided. So, Mr. Justin Sullivan, I'll ask if you would please raise your right hand. Do you swear the statements you make today?
Talk about
the truth
Seneca
under
Lake and
penalty
the
of
Finger
perjury?
Lakes, one of the worst
Yes.
lakes.
Thank you very much. You have filed this petition against Mr. Jonathan Sullivan as he a DeKalb County resident to the best of knowledge.
Yes.
All right. And you said that you and he were in a dating relationship. When did that most recently end?
In February of 2023.
Yes.
All right. So about 3 months ago. And during the time that you were recently dating, how often were the two of you either physically together or in contact?
Maybe 3 times a week.
Good for them.
And did you also stay in communication otherwise, whether it's by phone, text message, social media?
During the relationship, yes.
Okay. In your petition, you outline some situations that you observed Mr. Sullivan at your home.
We should have
what county do you reside in?
Fulton County.
You're going to figure that out when we start seeing pictures.
But if you take traffic out of the equation, do you know either in terms of distance or time about how far apart your two residences would be?
About 20, 25 minutes.
Okay, so it's not a situation where each of you lives on opposite sides of Briarcliff and that's the county line. You're a moderate drive away from each other.
Correct.
Tell me about the neighborhood you live in. Is it a residential community or what is it like?
It's a residential community. Best way to think about it would be like a gated community, which it eventually will be once the construction is finished. But there are no shops or stores. There's no through streets. It is a cul-de-sac essentially with townhomes and garages. There's no reason that anybody would be on the street if they didn't live here.
Sounds like a fun place.
All right. And so you said across March and April, you saw him at the residence, at least or around the residence at least 4 times. Is that correct?
That's right.
And how were you able to know that it was him?
He comes to my home, rings the doorbell, and I have a Ring doorbell, so it's recorded.
So you were able to see him through that service or technology, whatever term you want to use for that. All right. At any point, did he? Were there any statements that were made that you were able to hear?
On the recording, not that I recall. It's just the ring of the doorbell.
All right. Have there been other forms of contact that you've received in the time since your relationship ended in February?
Yes, there's been hundreds of phone calls from a multitude of different numbers. His phone number is blocked, but he recreates new phone numbers. There are also text messages.
We hear that a lot, Creed.
Some of those are vulgar, sexual. There's emails that have gone to my work. There's one message that involves a guy he's allegedly been dating, and the image has a gun on his hip. And Jonathan also references that this guy is a real man who's not afraid of guns like me. There's been
the new boyfriend's packing heat, Creed.
I just want to make sure we heard
World's
Right.
most dangerous chat, by the way, behaving very well. I love you guys. Being respectful, but still having a little bit of fun. The thing that got me was when Toby said, Ginger loving had me a blast.
He did just admit that he was not a real man, right? Not a real gun.
Not a strong gun toting feller like the new boyfriend. He's a pistol packing daddy.
Interesting. Dave the Flav, or Carol or Carp, is schizophrenic and has bipolar and has been around for a very long time. So you will see some strange things that he will mention from time to time. Just disregard it. Just move on. That's all. Thank you. Turn out. Thank you.
Messages that include threats to post things, lies about me on Twitter, tagging my friends and my employer. And just all sorts of behavior around stalking after I've contacted him on March 22nd and March 21st. Those are the two most explicit, one email and one voice recording, where I explicitly told him, do not ever contact me. Do not ever come near me again.
All right.
That sounds like stalking and harassment.
And so for these phone calls and messages that you're receiving, if the numbers are changing, how do you know that it's him?
Because sometimes there are voice messages associated with them, and those have been submitted. And the text messages are the same. The content of the text messages are evident. That
Wedlaw 2 Bones, thank you. And oh, God for Lisa, Dog Squad Mob, not Vampire. No, there's times that
there's times you'll have to rein him in. You'll know. It'll happen. You'll be like, yeah, we gotta move him on out for a little while.
Although DTF last few times that Carp has been here, he's been kind of on good behavior for him, anyways. To say the least. But yeah. By the way, Lisa, thank you. Bob Evans last night got the whole 3-course whatever deal, where you get the salad or you get 2 sides.
Oh my goodness!
A banana nut bread, got some chocolate something cake for dessert.
Oh my!
Good. Pretty impressed. Chris,
well, pretty impressed
that it's him.
Okay. Madam Clerk, are we able to go through the exhibits that were submitted?
Yes, you would like for me to pull up the first one?
Yes, please. We'll just try to go in order, I guess.
I hope we get to see this pistol packing daddy.
All right, so this was an email that you sent to him, is that right? The top part?
Yeah. On March 22nd, letting him know to not contact me.
Okay. And the message below, is that his email address?
Okay,
yes.
So that's
it's
just
email
him telling them, look,
up.
We're done.
Okay, and so he's around at 9:49. He's accusing you of sharing what business?
So, as a result of all the calls I got, I had to purchase a spam blocker, and one of them that I purchased actually has like a fake person speaking gibberish, basically, just to confuse the spam person from calling. Jonathan thought that was a real person, and it did.
Okay, I like that. That's a good move, dude. I like it. Good.
Look, I like that. Jonathan thought it was real. Jonathan thought, hey, someone is talking gibberish at your on your line.
All right. Well, I'm going to need to look into something like that. That seems like a lot of fun.
Don't contact me no more, Daddy.
I'm going to get a specific number just for Dave the Flame to call, and he will also think that is real as well.
Come across like a real person, and he was humiliated by it and felt offended by it, and so he started to threaten me. And
Deborah was humiliated by it. Why? Why would you be humiliated?
I mean, it is. But at the same time, man, come on, get with it.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Became upset.
All right. And so this was the discussion on the 22nd, and it looks like there's a page 2 that has a photograph.
Whoa, there's
Yeah,
the
this
new
was
guy.
a text where he was just bragging to me
All right.
about this new person he's dating, including a gun. And then there's a message that follows describing his feelings about guns with the people he dates.
It's certainly
And so
flexing.
when was this sent to you?
He's got a type.
Is he in a church doing that? Or is that just a
Maybe
Am I-
he's in law enforcement. Maybe that's a courtroom
let's go with courtroom. That's
or a church. It could be a church. Are those hymnals right there?
That's what I think. It's also the walls are very not covered with anything. So there's that. Sasha, thank you. You know what they say about a guy with a big pew pew?
Shoots a whole lot of bullets.
Thank you for stopping yourself with what you almost just said there.
Yes.
I would say 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks ago.
Okay, so sometime in April.
Yeah, dropping loads.
Right.
Okay. And then can we see page 3, please?
This
And
is
so
him
this
with
is
the
the
shirt
comment
off.
that accompanied the photograph. Is that right?
That's
Oh.
right.
Read that, Creed.
He's not a weak, pathetic wimp afraid of pew-pews like you. He's a real man who doesn't have to pick on me to feel better about himself like you did, you little bitch.
You stupid bastard.
There's ever a question about who's right and wrong in this situation, just remember the guilty party is always run. Oh, the guilty party is always run and hide. I'm going to read these word for word like I used to with the old
Please.
mailbag.
Please.
Innocent people don't have a reason to run and hide from anything. Sorry. I'm just sitting here thinking about how abusive you are and how unremorseful and inconsiderate you are. What a piece of shit you are. Imagine walking around like you got the moral high ground after acting like a monster and crossing every line there is to cross for 2 damn years without even one apology. Not even one.
Not even one, Creed. Unbelievable. That's some big accusations there.
RLS.
Hey. It's some rough talk
All right.
for sure.
And did you have other exhibits or were they combined into this one?
There are other exhibits. They were kind of rushed through because I went to the actual courtroom today. I wasn't aware of the Zoom, so everything was kind of last minute. But there are some additional pieces of voicemail and I think of Ring video doorbell camera footage.
Oh, bring it on.
Would you like to hear the voicemail, Judge?
Judge would like to.
Judge, would you like to
Yes,
hear the
please.
voicemail, please? Oh, yeah. Oh, look, there's the
Oh, there it is. Robo Killer, everybody.
free
That's
ad.
Yeah.
Samson.
You're not happy. You're not moved on. You didn't do any of that shit. You're miserable. You're angry. You're hurt. Yo, I apologize to you 10 times. I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. You abused me for 2 years. 2 fucking years you abused me. And I'm over here apologizing to you for calling you a name. I'm sorry what I called you. I love you, but you pushed me to my fucking limit. For 2 years, you pushed me to my limit. And you just be violent like that? I didn't even stop at your house. I just turned around in there. And look how you reacted. Took off your jacket, pulled out your gun, yanked on my door handle.
Almost thought he was going to say yanked out something different, but thankfully.
I thought this guy was afraid of pew-pews, but yet we just accused him of pulling one out.
Good point.
I love you, Justin. Nothing's going to change that. You can be angry as you want. Blame me for, I don't give a fuck. I put up with abuse for 2 years. I stood by you. I'm loyal to you. And I still love you.
Lol as F.
All right. And has that message been edited or altered in any way from its original form in which you received it?
Absolutely not.
All right, sir, do you have any, I'm sorry, I have to direct this question to the respondent. Mr. Jonathan Sullivan, do you have any objection to that message being entered into evidence?
No.
Okay, any objection to the photographs and screenshots that were shown a moment ago?
No. Nope.
Okay, so those are all admitted. I apologize. I'm going to have to take a brief recess, and so we're going to need to place the parties back in the waiting room. I have another matter that I need to address outside of court briefly. So we are going to take about a 10 to 12 minute break.
Oh, no, we're
and we
not.
will try to
Not really.
reconvene as close to 2:40 as I am able to.
Don't lie about that. We're
It's
not
going to come
taking
right
video
back.
like that.
We're going to just jump from one video right to the next. So yeah, no time
Two
off.
of you won't agree as to certain
Judge trying to
facts or
look
the
sexy
significance
for
of
this
certain
one.
matters, and that's why we're having the hearing in the first
Glasses on
place.
now.
There are certain situations where it just makes more sense for you to offer your own testimony as opposed to questioning a witness who may not be friendly or agreeing with your side of the events. But with that said, do you have any questions that you wish to ask this witness?
Very quickly before we get back into this, there's been a lot of talk about 2 years of abuse. He said it numerous times over and over again. Did we actually get into that? Maybe we're going to now, but at this point, have we said anything really about that other than the phone calls? That's different. That's harassment stuff.
Yeah, I mean, got to remember, the one bringing the case is the gentleman down on the bottom right there. He's the one that's, saying, hey, he's coming to my house. He's doing this. He's doing that. But, the old red rifle up there himself is also coming in with some accusations of his own. So it's going to be definitely interesting. I don't pick sides until I've heard all the evidence.
But how many times are you going to ask that? We're going to answer you yes.
Yes. They made sweet man-on-man love as much as humanly possible.
They touched tips once.
Much as they could.
No questions. I would just like to offer my own testimony, if that's okay.
Griggs.
All right, that may be happening in the next few seconds here. Let me make sure first, Mr. Justin Sullivan, you did not have any other witnesses you intended to call to testify. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, so the petitioner has rested and it is in fact your turn to testify. So Mr. Jonathan Sullivan, if you would please raise your right hand for me.
All right, good
Do you
point.
swear any statements you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
I do.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. What would you like to tell us today?
So I was making attempts to contact Justin. My phone number was blocked. I didn't put much stock in that because sadly, that is normal discourse for the nature of our relationship. When Justin is upset, he'll block me for a few hours, a few days. On one occasion, I think there was a period of about 2.5 months, which I wasn't even contacting him. And he tried to, at that point, also weaponize the legal system against me. He sent a letter from an attorney, cease and desist letter, only to subsequently turn around and contact me to reconcile. And I obliged. We got back together.
Now, approximately when are you saying this took place?
We got back together in, I believe, October of.
Sounds like a really
21,
toxic
I think. I'm not
relationship, to be
sure.
honest, guys.
But yeah, we had an argument and we
What
didn't
about
speak
them?
for about 2 months. I wasn't contacting him at all. I received the letter, and then a few short weeks later, he contacted me in October 1 to get back together. So I obliged. Again, the nature of our relationship has been rather tumultuous. Justin is very violent and abusive, and this has been going on consistently for 2 years. So him blocking me was really just kind of a normal occurrence. So I was trying to contact him, not with any malintent, but to
Two down, $22,990 to go. Thank you.
We got this.
Appreciate you. We're getting into the good part of this, I feel here.
Yeah, look, if abuse is no joke, stalking, harassment, yes, those are all awful things as well. You sent PayPal, I'm heading there right now, my friend. But abuse, like at the hands of another, it's super toxic, by the way. If they played this game where he would block them for a month,
Right,
that's
it's so petty.
and
That's
Yeah.
so petty. Sometimes hours. Yeah, they don't block you. It's so petty. It just shows what we're getting into here.
reconcile with him. We've been through a lot together. I love him and I care for him. But he really just has responded with violence. When he was not agreeable to reconciling our relationship, I said, hey, can we just at least be on neutral ground? That way, nobody has to worry about it's really just boils down to violence. Can we just at least be on neutral ground? That way I don't have to worry about being attacked in public. Justin has deemed any public space that he feels is his to be his, quote, and has vowed to attack me if he's seen any of, if I'm seen in any of those spaces. As you heard on the voicemail, he actually made good on that promise. You heard me talking about him trying to yank open my car door. So I did tell Justin that if we cannot come to some kind of common ground where I didn't have to worry about being excluded from spaces or worry about being attacked, that I was going to pursue criminal charges and possibly civil damages for the abuse. Like I said, Justin.
So when were these conversations playing out?
I guess throughout March and April.
Oh, Annie M., I'm so sorry to hear that. Our condolences.
Creed, real quick, our good friend UCLA.
Yes.
I think he used to be a Jedi Master at one point.
Yeah.
Fiffy Bones in the PP.
Fiffy, and I get a good meal again tonight also, thanks to Lisa and UCLA. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. That's awesome.
Well, during like his kind of spotty responses, once Justin realized I was documenting everything, he stopped communicating with me in a way that could be recorded, I guess you could say. So again, it went from initially trying to reconcile with Justin to really just, can we just be on common ground? The last time I saw Justin in a public setting, he tried to rip me out of my car. And so he has already made promises to weaponize this process against me. He is aware that I am.
So hang on, because so certain things come up and sometimes I have to dig a little deeper. So first off, you've talked about public spaces and the like. I know you two live probably 20 minutes apart. To what extent would you say that your circles of friends overlap or are shared?
They do. So what I was just about to say,
Sure, a lot.
Sunday, I was at an establishment. I saw Justin there, and I haven't seen him or been in contact with him in over a month. Actually, since before I received the TPO, I wasn't in contact with him. So up until just this last Sunday, I was at a bar in Midtown, and I turned around. I saw him there, was very shocked and surprised because actually it's a place that he told me he did not ever frequent. So I was very surprised to see him there. And when I did, I moved to the other side of the venue to where his back was facing me because, you know, I didn't want any issues. Also, Justin is also aware that, and this will kind of allude to why we're here today. He's also aware.
Thank you so much, Lisa B.
Lisa.
Hallelujah.
Oh, you guys are awesome. We appreciate it so much, man.
I see this. This is going to be a big part of this, I believe.
I mean, we're turning the tables.
Mm-hmm. Now they all can't hang out together now.
Yeah, now you're going to keep me from being around my friends. You're blocking me here, there, and everywhere now. C-blocking too.
Aware that my lease here at my current apartment is up, and I had plans to move. I've already secured a place. It's actually probably 2 or 3 miles from where he is. I spent 2 years over at his house, so we've been frequenting the same places. We have some of the same mutual acquaintances.
Sleepover.
There is no doubt we are going to cross paths. Justin has vowed to weaponize the legal system against me. He's going through this process as a way to maintain control over me post our relationship. As you'll see in the evidence that I submitted, he's very obsessed with abuse and control. He told me that I would not be moving anywhere after our hearing today. I have no problem with maintaining no contact with him, but it is his desire to go through this process so that he can either
Vincent, thank you. 2 bones into Emily's car fund. Appreciate you guys.
Use this judgment as an excuse to physically attack me. He'll say that his safety is in danger, or he's going to weaponize law enforcement against me. Justin has spent the last 2 years physically overpowering me. He even went to the lengths on this statement here to lie about my physical stature, I assume to make me appear threatening. But I've never been 5'9" or 178 pounds. I'm 5'7" with shoes on, and I weigh 151 pounds. And so Justin has been mercilessly.
All right.
He filled
first
out
of all,
the TPO and wrote that the guy, you know, his stats were bigger than they really are. That's weird.
That is a strange way to play it. And I am going to say that, yeah, he's choked up a little bit. I can hear it now.
Oh
I
my
thought
God,
that maybe that's just the way he talked or did his thing, but no,
He loves hard, Creed.
He does.
Real hard.
he can't let it go.
The Red Rocket. Oh, Red Rifle. Sorry.
I wish I knew how to quit you. Abusing me for the past 2 years. I have no doubt in my mind that if Justin is granted this judgment at his very first opportunity, he's going to use this to either harm me or weaponize the legal system against me. In the evidence that I've submitted, I've had to file police reports. Justin has pointed a loaded gun at me before, twice. I've sustained more physical injuries than I can even keep track with. The video evidence that you'll see today, Justin is very forthcoming, very brazen, and very proud about the abuse that he's subjected me to.
Well, I'll turn to Madam Clerk because she has the exhibits ready to screen share. And so I
We got
can
pictures?
review what we have as she pulls it up.
Oh, baby.
Oh boy.
Okay, so what number would you like for me to pull up?
We can just go in order,
9.
if that's all right. We'll just see them.
Okay.
Dennis, glad you got your free Jersey Mike's.
Oh my God.
Look good.
We gotta get a few more donos to be able to afford that, though.
Right, we're getting there though. A couple more.
Getting there.
Hey, now.
All right. So this is a photograph. Approximately when would this have been taken?
All of these were from the past 2 years. That's probably the most recent one. That's from when he was choking me. You can still see the red marks around my neck. I don't know the exact dates for the
That's
rest of the
chest,
photos.
bud.
I could get them to you if it's absolutely necessary, but these are all taken over the course of our relationship over the past 2 years. Justin inflicted all of these on me. And as you'll see in the video, he's very forthcoming about it, but these are just me documenting after the initial time, Your Honor, that he tried to weaponize the law enforcement against me.
He loves to
it
say
was important for me to
weaponized.
start documenting
He
the
does.
things he was
That's his
doing to
word
me.
of
So
the
make your
I
best estimate for this picture. Approximately when do you think you sustained this injury? And what I usually tell people is,
Heck yeah. Thank you. We love money. 2 bones. You're on the
Don't forget, we got members only tonight for We Got a Case, and it's going to be a lot of fun, so you don't want to miss it.
KH, it's all about the MySpace pose, where it's called. You take a picture from above, everything looks smaller now. If he does it up this way, like that, it makes
Musculature.
Yes, we know.
Better.
Musculature. We got it.
usually the first thing that pops into your head is the right answer, even if it's not the most precise answer. And so what I mean by that is if you look at something and you say, ooh, that was last winter, or that was
probably
2021, then
it was probably just this last fall, winter sort of time frame.
okay, so late 2022.
Yes, probably late 22.
Yes.
There were a few other instances
Yes.
that I didn't document. There was an instance on December 16th. I had to have surgery on my testicles. Justin was responsible.
Oh, Griggsy, perfect timing for that. Oh boy. Okay, Griggsy, thank you. Welcome.
Any story that starts with the words, I had to have surgery on my testicles, is a hell of a story.
For caring for me. I couldn't walk for 3 to 5 days after my procedure. I get back to his apartment, his townhome. He goes to a concert with a friend. He's gone until about 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and he walks in the front door without saying a word to me and jumps on top of me and starts punching my incision sites. For context, I had only been out of the hospital for about 4 hours, and so I started profusely bleeding all over the place. I had trouble with uploading the documents as well, so I don't have a document of that. But
Thank
all of these
God.
things.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you,
gonna
Jesus.
I'm gonna take your word on that one.
I do not.
Nope.
I mean, what? Oh, was he having a reduction or something?
Musculature.
I mean, oh, God. He just, ooh, can we just go ahead and, I don't know what he's asking for, but let's just give it to him now.
Yeah, cut and dry. We're done.
He just flies in with a Superman punch to my man's nad incisions, and he starts bleeding everywhere.
I believe he said profusely. Can we just move on like that never happened? We'll just pretend like that's not a. Oh.
Occurred during the 2 years that Justin and I worked together.
Oh my.
There might be more photos down below.
Yeah, we can scroll through those as we go. Now, in the
Thank
petition, he said that the
God.
second phase of your relationship was October of 22 to February of 23. Do you agree with that time span?
October of.
I think you
So
go.
about 4 months, that second round.
I'm sorry.
Your Honor, we met on Valentine's Day, and we've only spent 2.5 months apart during the last 2 years. So I'm not sure of the dates, but we met on Valentine's Day, and there's only been a 2.5 month period that we were not together. And we resumed our relationship. It was around October, I believe.
Okay, so this second stint, were you together for about 4 months or about a year and 4 months?
Oh, it was over a year, I'm sure, at that point.
All right, Madam Clerk, are you able to scroll through the other pictures so that we're able to see those?
I figured he had like a NAD reduction or something. Like women get. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's been beat up on or something for sure.
And those were photos taken in Justin's house, by the way.
Oh, he's got a beautiful place.
Musculature.
Oh, his eye. Look at his eye.
No doubt. It's a lot of.
Oh my God. He has taken some ass whoopings.
And so what types of things, I know you mentioned being choked at one point. What caused the other bruises and marks that we're seeing here?
Punches, choking, just hitting me. You'll be able to see a little bit more in greater detail in the videos, sadly.
Oh no, video too? All right, look, abuse by anybody's hand is not okay.
No.
Just so we make a lot of jokes and things, but abuse is not okay.
That's
ever.
That's a lot of.
All right, so this is the City of Atlanta Police report from September of 2022.
You would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so after a night out on the town, we came back to Justin's house. As I mentioned, I spent a great deal of time there. We were very close. Justin becomes violent when he drinks. So.
Val, that's funny that you said that because I kind of thought about that for just a split second.
I mean, granted, some people do enjoy a little hands on the neck kind of thing. But that's only between mutual consenting adults. Maybe one of them liked it and the other one didn't. Maybe he cried on the end of the bed like Knox used to.
So we came home and Justin wanted to have sex. I did not immediately comply. Not that I had a problem. He was just being really mean. He jumped on top of me, put his hands around my throat, started to choke me. I was able to force myself free, but he ended up subsequently pointing a loaded weapon at me. So I was able to calm him down. The next morning,
my God, he was horny.
Pew pew play.
Yeah, I mean, Creed, I don't know if you're exposed to that kind of thing, but I see that type of thing in here all the time that he's describing, the choking, the jumping, the punching of the groin. Not uncommon in here, but wow. Why did he stay around so long? I mean, 2 years. Again, should have got out of there, man.
When he left for work, I filed a police report. We spent a couple of days apart. I did a TPO on him. A few days after that.
Hallelujah, Spike Donuts. Hallelujah. Thank you.
He, was pleading with me. I never wanted Justin to get in trouble. I don't want to see him lose his job. I don't want him to have a criminal record. I care for him. I love him. So I dropped all the charges. I didn't continue to go through with it. I canceled the TPO and we were able to reconcile. I didn't want him to get in any trouble. He vowed to me at that point that he promised he would stop abusing me, and he didn't, because I think the next instance after that was this December 16th date when he was punching my surgical site after coming home from the hospital.
Oh, don't talk about that. Keep going. Just push through. Judge, don't ask about that.
Yeah, please.
All right.
That never happened.
What's our next exhibit?
Said we got some videos. Don't forget to like this video. Speaking of videos.
So this was another incident. I think this is one of the ones where Justin was claiming I was stalking him. I actually wasn't. There is a pub on the corner of Justin's street where he and I have been hanging out for the last 2 years. We do have some mutual acquaintances there. I was having dinner with a young lady named Tasha. After I left from dinner, I was headed in the opposite direction from where my car is parked. Well, Justin, as I mentioned, Justin and I used to frequent this place. So his circle, the community he was talking about, is a circle. And so his drive is the next drive next to my parking spot. So I pulled in to turn my vehicle around on the circle rather than doing a U-turn in the middle of the road. And when I pulled back out onto the main street, Justin pulled up beside me. He is the one who initiated contact. He rolled down his window. He started screaming obscenities at me. He was very upset. I tried to kind of calm him down. I pulled back around to where his garage was. He was standing outside of the garage waiting for me to pull up. And I had my window cracked. I'm like, hey, he's like, why are you at my house? And I'm like, well, I'm not at your house. You have a doorbell camera. I'm turning my car around here. You were at the pub. I wasn't doing anything to do with it.
Just explaining leaving the pub and you got to go drive down there to turn around and come back is all.
Yeah, that seems to be acceptable, but I'm guessing there's probably a different way you could get. I'm sure not every person that goes to the pub has to go to Justin's house and turn around.
No, I remember.
I picked a different driveway, by the way. Any driveway other than Justin's.
That's a good point. Remember, there are 3 sides of the story, but we're gonna get 2 of them. We've been at this point before where we're all just I'll be RP.
After I said that, he's like, you have no business at, quote, my bar. So he just really got angry over that. He started yanking on my door handle, trying to rip me out of the driver's side of my car. My car door, thankfully, was locked. So he went and brandished his rifle, at which point I pulled off and I left. Again, I never got out of my car. He won't have any doorbell footage because I never rang his doorbell. I never approached him. I didn't even initiate contact with him. As a matter of fact, he could have kept on driving, and that could have been it. He's the one who stopped and rolled down his window. And again, he was drinking. He gets very violent and lacks any self-control at all during the periods where he's intoxicated.
So it gets rough when he drinks.
And there's a typo in there. The officer has him listed as Julian. I think they've since corrected that.
I don't know if there's a mutual TPO in there or we're just establishing what.
Okay. So, all right. Do we have other exhibits that we haven't displayed yet?
Yes, there are a few videos I would like for us to take a look at. This one, just for context, has 3 clips to this whole video.
Oh, a 3-parter. Get ready, guys. Good to see you, Lady Poe. Is that a kitty cat?
You're scaring me.
Where's a puppy?
You're scaring me.
So who is?
You're scaring me. I want you to know you're scaring me.
Who's talking? Is that him? That's the Crimson Chin?
Don't put your hands around my
Don't tell.
Because you're scaring me.
Who gives the commands here? Me or you, babe?
Oh.
You need to fucking relax.
Oh my God.
You want me to relax? You just text me you were gonna come.
I am going to beat you. I will tonight.
You're not gonna beat me.
I will beat you.
I'm gonna
tonight.
leave. No, you're not gonna hurt me. I'm gonna leave.
You're not gonna leave. You're gonna get beat tonight. It's just not gonna happen right now.
No, I'm gonna leave.
It's gonna happen when we go upstairs. When we go upstairs, I'm gonna beat you.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna beat you into submission.
Justin, don't.
And it's gonna be good.
You're not gonna put a hand on me.
All right. So when is this video from?
Ooh.
2022, mid 2022, I guess.
Okay. And Madam Clerk, what's next?
Yeah, he's got a lot. He's unpacking it, boy. Literally unpacking it. That was the redheaded guy.
I just don't understand why there has to be protocol. Why can't you just make a decision that says, I'm not going to be violent. I'm not going to put my hands on people. Hey, Jackie, stop. Why does it have to be a protocol?
Well, that was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. And he was like, I mean, the way it wasn't just that he, typically you expect him to be screaming or something, but he was like,
right.
Oh, you're going to get beat tonight. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are when we go upstairs.
So I think that it is a sexual thing for him then, not for
I think
Brad.
the one guy, yeah, the one gentleman, maybe it's a turn on for him. Maybe not so much for the other guy, the guy that's taking the ass whooping. To each their own. Kinky. Well, yeah, do your thing. But if somebody's asking you not to beat on them literally in the bedroom, that'd be a good thing not to do.
Either way, whether it's that dude finds it fun or if he's just taking anger out on it, either way, it doesn't. It's not right. You are absolutely right, KH. My God,
that's the part. Come on, Jackie. Huh?
Because I drink.
Because you. So
drunk.
What? I don't get it. Jackie, no. Where's your toy, Thomas? Where's your toy?
Tons of them.
Just come home and be normal. That's all.
The things that will piss me off is like if you come back here and I'm ready to fuck and you're not.
I know you get mad. You get mad about sex,
So,
but you know what?
You just say that
Here's the thing.
Have sex, why don't you stay downstairs?
Here's the thing. If you are feeling like that, you don't have to get violent. You can talk to me. You can just be like, look, I really want to have sex with you. Can you please make provisions? Because I really want to have sex. You don't have to get violent. Like that don't even make any sense because that now then I'm like, oh, I don't even feel like having sex with you now because now you're acting like an ass.
Do you believe in rape?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Have you ever experienced it?
I have. Yeah.
From whom?
From you.
You are full of shit.
On or about July 30th, 31st. Yeah.
When I fuck you on the balcony?
No. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, you do.
Why do you stay around me like you've been?
Good question. Good fucking.
Put at you. You've been beaten and bruised, and you've been raped. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I've been beaten, I've been abused, and I've been raped. What the F is wrong with me?
What is it?
I don't know. But, if someone
Hey, stop, dogs. Come on.
same.
I love you. I get upset with you. I can only stay mad at you for a short period of time. I wanted to have you put in jail for pointing the gun at me, but then I feel. I feel bad when I shouldn't. I don't have any business feeling bad.
Not a lot to say about that one.
How do you come back from that?
I don't know.
It's muted.
I don't know how you can justify any of it.
All right, Madam Clerk, about how many more do you see?
Judge, it looks like it's about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, probably about 7 or 8 more videos.
All right.
God.
So, Mr. Sullivan, what?
I don't think that's needed, is it? I think
At
that's
some
enough.
point, there's a concept called cumulative evidence. What would you go ahead and tell us that these videos show?
So Justin's only intent here is to, there's other videos that will talk about him, his being controlling and, dominating with me and physically violent. His only intent here right now is to maintain a degree of control over my life and have an avenue to weaponize the legal system against me. As I mentioned, he is aware that I'm moving and there's a possibility he may pass me on the street. And so this is a way for, well, at least he thinks this is a way for him to determine where I'm going to live or the places I'm going to frequent. And I'm confident with his behavior in the past, he is going to use this as a way to either have an excuse to attack me or to weaponize law enforcement against me.
So during what we've seen, both, I guess, of the videos we have seen and the ones that have not been watched yet, you're the one working the phone, so you're the one operating whether it's recording or not, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any knowledge as to whether he knows he's being recorded or not during the videos?
One of them he might, because he threatened to slap the phone out of my hand. I can't remember which video that is, but
I want to remind everybody that it's not Red that's bringing the TPO. It's this one down here.
Yeah. I mean, unless he's filed a dual, TPO thing, I don't believe he has. I believe this is just his defense against keeping him from getting one on him.
So Lola, I think, is absolutely right. I mean, I wouldn't imagine that he would think that he would have this many receipts and ready to go. Because why?
Again, let's get back to the whole domination thing. The guy on the bottom is definitely the dominant one in this relationship, and he's continuing to try and dominate him by not allowing him to do what he's doing and things like that, control where he can go, where he can't go, that type of thing. It's a toxic relationship. And also remember, when somebody's recording things on their phone, they know they're recording and the other person doesn't, sometimes you could critique things in a way to make yourself look better. Not saying that's the case here, but always keep that in mind that, they are allowed to record this and it's admissible. I think isn't Georgia like a one-party state or something like that?
I think so, but we could be.
I could be wrong.
Thank you, Bubble Rat. She needs it. She needs it. Thank you.
I can't recall.
Okay. So, and are there specific videos in here that contain beyond what's already been played? So it looks like we have some of these say that they're short clips. I'm looking to see which ones came from who. All right. And so are there other clips that contain specific statements from him that should be played for the court?
I'm happy to have you guys review all of them. Like I said, he's been violent, aggressive, and threatening towards me. As you can see from the photos, I've been abused mercilessly. It's just going to be a lot more of the same: more threats, more violence, more abuse.
All right. Well, we'll break it down this way, Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Justin Sullivan. You always have the ability to offer rebuttal testimony since you don't necessarily know what the other side's case will bring. Do you have questions that you wish to ask the respondent first?
Yes. If I would ask the respondent, if you have endured so much abuse, why do you keep coming back begging for my love to be with me? Mm-hmm. That's the question. Why over years have you been abused? And it's not been sexual or kink or anything like convenient times where you decide to pull out a phone after framing up everything while drinking for a night of romance and pleasure and sex.
Long question.
If you truly are being abused, why do you keep coming back to be with me after I say I do not want to be with you?
Because I love you and I care for you a great deal. I'm aware that you have a severe mental disorder, Justin. You have a mental issue. Just because you have that going on doesn't mean I want to leave your side. I love you and I care for you. But both you and I know that this was not a kink fetish. I'm crying in that one video. I'm blowing my nose crying. I had to call the police and file police reports. That's not kink or fetish, Justin. You might have a fetish for putting harm on me.
I believe that.
But that's not anything I've ever agreed to. And you, as everyone in here just saw in that video, you have admitted to abusing me. And the reason I come back is because I care for you. I love you. And you know that.
Do I get to ask any more questions?
Do you have other questions you wish to ask?
I do.
All right.
And as the respondent is under oath, in any of those videos, did you request for sexual purposes to have rough sex, and then later on desire to pull out the camera to try to record and to entrap me in an issue like we're in today?
No, and you know that. You're aware of that.
Okay.
You should submit, if you have evidence of that, you should submit it, but that's never occurred ever.
Okay.
Well played.
I don't record every part of a relationship when I'm in it. And then, so my next question is, in the photos that the respondent submitted, particularly the one where he had a bruised elbow and a black eye, is it the case that you came to my home, swung a punch at me, I ran and called the police, I ran inside my home and locked my door, you then kicked in my door, broke my door to the point my friends had to come help me fix it,
This isn't a court.
and the police came with body cam footage? Is it the case that night that you got that black eye was the only time I ever punched you, and it was because you kicked in my home and I had no other place to go? This happened in March of 2021.
No, that's not the case. The night in question did not occur as you framed it. There are other videos, if the court wishes to review those, or you can physically see Justin putting his hands around my neck, and I'm saying no. I'm quite sure you'll find that in the other videos, but that's not as it occurred. Justin and I were at a restaurant. He became, once again, enraged and angry. I decided to take an Uber back to his house, so I didn't come to his house. I was already staying there. I decided to take an Uber to his house instead of riding in the car with him. That made him very angry. So when I arrived back at his residence, he had taken all of my possessions out of my house, out of his house, along with my car keys so that I could not leave.
Oh, that is not a good play. Carol, thank you for Emily's fancy key fob fund. Appreciate you.
Many thanks, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. Throwing all his shit out just because he took an Uber home is that's pretty rude.
Again, and what an asshole question to ask. Why'd you keep coming back? Why'd you keep saying how? Again, I grew up in a household that was very much abusive like this. My mom came back, I bet, 25 times in 13 years. So that's just a pattern. That's just an abused person does that. It's not smart. It's not the right thing to do, but they do it. So it's not really that surprising that he continued to come back over and over again.
He locked all of my items in my car and also locked my car keys in my car. His door got damaged while I was trying to gain access to his house to get my car keys. So that's how his door was subsequently damaged. But the way that he is describing it, it never occurred like that. And I'm not sure what that has to do with your continued abuse, 2 years worth of abuse. I'm not sure how that's germane to what you've been doing for the last 2 years to me.
Okay, my final question is for you, Judge, if I may. It's twofold. One is that there are lies being told here right now, and I'd like to know what the penalty is for that, number one. And number two is, we're here for a TPO. We're here to address my request to stop being stalked. And
very quickly, Who's Handsome throwing out some memberships. Thank you. And don't forget 5:30 Eastern for We Got a Case is members only tonight. Just so you know. FYI.
It's going to be a party.
So this has gone into more matters around physical abuse. If he wishes to file that and go in a different direction, we can get lawyers, we can go down that path. But as it relates to the TPO today, I guess I'm just trying to figure out where this conversation fits into the big picture.
Well, it's the best way I can answer that with a non-answer is that the patterns that exist within a relationship it's never just a one-way stream. And so it is always in both directions. And the court, in considering whether somebody is perpetrating acts of violence or acts of stalking, puts those acts that are alleged in the context of the relationship and the power dynamics.
Karen, again, yeah, this guy down
Guy
here.
at the bottom is the one that's looking for the TPO.
Can't make this stuff up. I know.
Between the parties. In the case of well, this was filed as your case sort of exists in two different pools, so to speak. You filed this as a dating violence protective order based on the notion or the nature of the relationship, as opposed to a family violence petition for parties that lived together or were married or had children, or a simple stalking petition for parties who maybe were never intimately connected, but had a pattern of harassment all the same. At the same time, the underlying offense for which you were granted your dating violence TPO was the stalking allegations. And so the question that the court has to answer really is kind of the where the predominant responsibility lies in that regard. And so it's a complicated question that we can address more at the end of the case, but it is, we're asked a singular question in the sense that the question being asked today is whether or not a TPO will be issued on behalf of Mr. Justin Sullivan against Mr. Jonathan Sullivan, but at the same time that the dynamics between each of you in each direction help determine whether that's appropriate or inappropriate. And so that is the most complete explanation I can give as we sit here more than 6 hours into my court day. So do you have any other witnesses that you intend to call?
That's another thing. No, they're not. They got the same last names.
Yeah.
It's just
and the same initials, John and Justin. Justin's the guy in the bottom and John's the guy on top.
Yeah, just a coincidence.
Just says it right now, yeah.
On top, he should go by O'Sullivan, if you ask me, but that's,
No, O'Sullivan would be great.
I don't.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Sullivan, I neglected to ask you this. Did you have any witnesses that you intended to call?
No, I don't have any other witnesses, but if I'm able to offer just a short rebuttal, if that's okay.
Well, that what he just said was not evidence, so it's not part of the record in terms of the facts.
Can I continue to make a testimony then? Is that okay?
What is it that we have not covered yet that you wish to address? I
was just wanting to point out that this, like I said, this whole entire thing that we're doing now is really about maintaining a degree of control over
this is argument. This is not evidence. So evidence is descriptions of things in the past that have happened, not explaining the significance or the overlying patterns in the case. And so are there other incidents that have happened prior to today that need to be discussed in addition to the ones we've already heard from?
Like I said, just his threats to weaponize the legal process against me and to maintain a degree of control over where I live and where I frequent.
I don't desire control. I desire for you to be out of my life. That's why we're here. I don't desire anything to do with you, particularly.
All right. Well, we're not going to go back and forth this way. So here's I've heard from both parties in the case. You've both done a good job being polite and professional, both toward the court and each other. And I know it's weird for me using the word professional for people who are pro se litigants, but you have conducted yourselves as attorneys would, and that is an uncommon thing in this courtroom, and you have my gratitude for that. The questions that we are tasked with answering is whether it is threefold, whether we have jurisdiction over the case, which is an easy yes. That's a simple question of where a party lives, whether there have been, in this case, acts of dating violence committed, and if so, which ones, and then whether this order will help prevent those acts from occurring in the future. And this is a situation where the burden of proof in these matters lies with the petitioner, and understanding that context is often complicated, especially in long and winding relationships. The decisions to be made here are very difficult. The totality of the evidence here suggests a relationship that is at best corrosive, and that whatever feelings, and there are two separate things in any relationship, the feelings you have for each other and the place in which that relationship puts you as that relationship affects you, because you affect the relationship, but it affects you back. And there is a substantial amount of evidence to suggest that there were problems in this relationship in which the respondent was not the predominant aggressor, and either in spite of or perhaps even because of the things that have transpired during the relationship, there have been acts that have been committed after and outside the relationship to cause further wounds and hurt and frustration between the parties. What I will say is this: based on the evidence reviewed today in total, I don't believe that it's appropriate for a 12-month protective order to issue at this time. But what I will say is that each of you
He's crying it up,
have
man.
made your wishes known. And I will say that I understand in many cases it can be difficult even for you to carry out your own wishes that you express earnestly and mean sincerely, because the shared history you have with a person draws you to make decisions that might be contrary to those expressed wishes and contrary even to your best interests. And you might even make those decisions knowing that. And I don't mean any one particular person, but I mean anyone who finds themselves in a relationship, or at least in a bad relationship. So the petition and the ex parte order that were issued thereafter will stand dismissed. Each of you has been clear that of the boundaries, I think, that need to be set with the other, irrespective of your feelings. There's not really a legitimate reason moving forward for either of you to be contacting the other, even to check up on them. There's not really a reason to be around somebody's residence. It sounds like you two have social circles that overlap somewhat substantially, or at least overlap in terms of places that are frequented. I think that's probably the more apt description. It's not about the people, it's about the places and the neighborhoods. Because I get that. I have places that are my spots that I like to go to because I know what's on the menu. I know what I like. This place
Me
has,
too, Judge.
These
Same
things
way.
that are good, whatever it may be. And in those situations, there's not a reason for you two to engage with each other. But the issues in your relationship aside, you seem to be outwardly successful and well-adjusted people who seem to have active lives out in the world. And you should each be able to do that without feeling a need to engage with the other one, even if you're at a location that you both turn out to be at. And so that is the charge I'm giving you moving forward, understanding that this order is not in effect, but also understanding that what we say in these situations is never no, but what we say is not yet, is that right now this evidence is insufficient, but there may be a different day, a different hearing, or additional circumstances that arise in the future to where that could be reconsidered if necessary and reevaluated by the court. And so with that, it seems that the two of you have both been through a lot together, before, during, and after during and after the relationship. I wish you both the best moving forward, separately, civilly, and peaceably. We're going to place you each back in the waiting room. You'll be free to log off from there.
Wow.
Rump shaker, am I right, Question?
Wow.
I'm glad for the denial.
Denied.
However, it scares me a little bit that obviously that should have been the other way around. Should have been. And also I am slightly in fear that Red maybe at some point, for some reason, try to get talking to that dude. I hope that's just stupid. I think that's I hope that's not something that's going to happen. But I kind of wish that there was something in place so that maybe not on each other's records, but that you know what I mean. I just wish there was something because that scares me because he has continued to go back and
and that Mr. Justin Sullivan, he's definitely got a pattern of abuse allegedly from what we saw in the pictures. Allegedly.
Let's not forget that Red said that he loved him
numerous times,
15, 20 times probably. Yeah, something along that lines would make me feel a little bit better anyways. Something that would
he needs to stay out of his own way too, because he's making those bad decisions, and but hopefully he's got a new man, everything's good, he's packing heat, all that good stuff. So let's pray that that's what happens. Don't forget tonight, 5:30 Eastern time, members only. 18 times. Members only for We Got a Case, the channel that covers nothing but court stuff. Just the court stuff. And tonight, a bench trial, something we don't typically do, Creed, about a car accident. But the people involved are number one, and that's why we're going to watch it tonight. So make sure you're there for that. You don't want to miss it.
All right. And thank you, everybody in the chat too. That I love that you guys feel comfortable enough to chit chat about the things that has happened in your life, and I also like that too, because that brings a whole different side. Just like Mikey has certainly talked about his upbringing. But that gives it's a different perspective, if you will, somebody that's been involved in things like that.
And those conversations are great. Those are needed to help for understanding and healing that continues throughout that person's life. It doesn't ever stop. Just like,
but I love him still express. Thank you guys. Lashal, did I say that right? Close enough. Wenlaw, Flusha. Carol, Flusha, the old dockhead. Carol, UCLA Jedi Knight, the big PP. Thank you. You got a big PP, UCLA. Lisa B, Vincent, Alex Atreyu, Grigsy, Spike Donuts, Algoff for Lisa, Dog Squad Bomb, not a vampire. Carol, Key Party host, who's handsome, and who's handsome, the member maker, the Key Party host. Carol, do you know what that is?
Carol, I bet Carol knows what that is. She's no spring chicken.
Let's see at 405. Wow,
I love you guys. Yeah, it's getting wild, Creed. Don't take that dog from me. Don't take that dog. We might have the world's most dangerous chat, but we have the most eclectic chat as well. People know when to stop having fun and start loving. Give us the loving. Hit the like button. Subscribe from wherever you're watching. Leave a comment. The comments are getting less and less hateful, Creed. It's a good day. It's a good day.
Must be doing something wrong then.
Getting the love. We'll see you soon, kids. Top guys out. That's us. What are the guys in the truck doing?
Well, we went 6 minutes over. That's what it is. It's in their contract. 1 hour and out. Hard out.
Dock that man's a day's pay for napping on the job.